beautiful, Ty.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. So I'm at a luxury hotel today, getting ready to go into this reading, and I really am not getting any solid impressions for the client. But in the past, people have held off from coming through until I've met the client because they don't want me to be skewed with any impressions that I could overanalyze. They prefer to just wait to give it to me in the moment that I'm sitting with their loved one. So I don't really know what I'm walking into. Hello! Oh my God! Are you? Yes, hi! Oh, I recognize you.
Tyler, pleasure to meet you. Yes, sir. Come on in.
I am Coco, and Tyler might know me because I had a cute little show on E called Ice Loves Coco, but hopefully he doesn't know too much about me because I want it all raw. I'm such a fan.
Oh my
Can
gosh.
I touch you?
Yes, go for it. We can do it. We'll go this way.
Tyler.
When I knocked on the door, Ice-T and Coco were both there, and though I haven't watched their show in depth, I know the gist of who they are.
Okay, Tyler, you're gonna read Coco. I'm gonna go in the back with her mother and sister.
Awesome.
All right, so it's a
Perfect.
pleasure.
Yes, great seeing you.
All right, I'm out.
I'm excited.
All right.
You're all mine, yeah.
Okay, we're gonna do it.
All right.
I love it.
I brought along my mom, my sister, and Ice because they can verify everything in my life.
Yeah, I'm just here for the ride. I want to get my mind blown. I'm the, what they call us?
The skeptic.
Yes.
I'm 100% a believer. I pretty much ride with my sister and my mom on a normal basis to other mediums. You know, we like, that's a social thing with us. Ice, he's so skeptical about these things, but if he sits back and he watches, I think he'll have an open mind like I do.
Well, I'm so happy to be here, and thank you for having me.
I'm ready. Bring it.
Yes, we'll do it.
Talking to my spirits right now.
I love it. All right, so I'm just gonna take a minute to scribble, and we will go from there, so.
I have a thing, like if I have to pee, that means it's gonna be a good thing. If I don't, he usually is like, okay, all right, that was kind of cool. All right, go on with my day. But I have to pee now, so that means good. I'm really excited. I'm actually nervous.
That. Do run the susceptibility of a breast issue.
Like, okay, all right, that
Okay,
was
but it's
cool.
not cancers. The way I would describe this is an issue, basically. You run the risk of, this is not what I thought I was gonna be talking about today, but one of them has a susceptibility to being like either vascular or harder than the other, or more like, I know, we're just going there.
We're just going there.
But the feeling is basically one is either more vascular than the other. It's just coming through in the way that it is, but I
cannot believe you just picked that up.
yeah.
Because I obviously have boob implants,
Right.
you know, so over time you have to kind of change them out like, you know, cars and stuff.
Right.
One of the boobs became hard and
Yep.
and started getting like rock hard and started like moving,
Oh.
you know, and I had to,
Right.
you know, get them uplifted a little
Right,
bit.
right.
That happened a couple of years ago. Now
Yeah,
they're good.
good.
But the hardness came, and I can't believe you just read on that.
Right.
My doctor said I am susceptible
Yeah.
to capsulating.
Right.
That's so crazy.
Do you have any specific questions regarding health of living family members?
Yeah, I'm having hardness came, and I can't believe right now with a loved animal.
Yeah, no problem.
Now, if he says anything about that, because nobody knows about that.
Right.
Let me look. Okay, got that. So I do want to say, I want you to know this living animal does
Now, if he
have
says anything about that,
susceptibility to a
'cause
couple
nope.
things. Some of these are going to affect mobility,
Okay.
and as far as like functionality and running, and that's something where a dog can still be happy, but might have some issues like getting from here to there. And so this dog runs this risk of, in the back legs, having a problem where I feel like I can't like run completely, or I'm like, I feel almost lopsided.
Oh
but,
my God.
And there's just a feeling of a progressive kind of loss of energy with the living animal.
Oh. No one has known this.
So crazy that you just say that. I'm having something going on with one of my bulldogs that he has got cancer in his knee, and he might have to have it amputated. So that's so crazy that you just said that.
Right.
Wow, he got us.
That was good.
God damn it.
Did he get you, Ice? Are you a believer?
I don't know.
Please know this. I know this is obviously a very personal situation. I think it may be a requirement that this animal does have to get that leg dealt with. But I'm seeing a three-legged dog. I don't feel completely balanced. Like I feel lopsided.
That's
I feel like I'm
really
heavy on
crazy
one
you
side.
just said that.
Yeah.
Wow, you just said immobility when you, oh my God, that's
Yep.
so crazy.
Pretty interesting.
I'm impressed. He got the three-legged dog. He got our dog. Our dog is sick right now. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
So
You just said
I believe he's feeling something.
When he started talking about Spartacus and he said three-legged, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe. Like that hit home because I wondered about that. And that's what I've been dealing with in the past week. No one knows about this.
Okay. When I go into these situations, it can sometimes be difficult to tell which side
Like
of family
that
I'm going to
hit
focus on
home?
more. And in
Okay.
this case, it's actually really helpful because I'm connecting to your mom's side of family, and I feel like I have to talk about your grandmother on your mom's side. And
She's just the first one that came
she's
through?
one of the first people I feel like I'm going to have to talk about, and there's a lot of an emphasis on mom's side of family. And in this case, it's actually over there, that necklace or that
Yep.
jingle-jingly thing.
Yep.
That I feel like I'm supposed to hold this. I'm not seeing dad's side, seeing mom's side.
Oh, you put that in there?
That's mom's necklace, yeah. He's holding mom's necklace.
Maternal grandmother. It just keeps coming through over and over again.
You're right. That's my grandmother's.
Awesome.
That's who I wanted to come forth, and
Great.
that's why I brought that.
I'm
so
supposed to hold
perfect.
this.
You were on
I'm
my
not
mom's
seeing
side.
dad's side, sing. Your grandma is joking about you singing. She's like laughing about this. Uh-oh. She's finding this to be like amusing on her end, and she's like laughing about it like, oh.
On my mom's side.
Maybe she heard shoe freak.
It's shoe freak. Yes.
Like I did a record called Shoe Freak,
Okay.
and I'm kind of getting all like sexual about it.
Oh my, grandma knows.
She does.
It's
But it's like a spoof though.
Grandma heard shoe freak. I'm out. I'm done. Oh, Lord.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. There's a situation that I'm going to kind of talk about. What happened with the house after she died? Your grandmother. What happened with the house? Because there's a whole discussion about a living or resident situation, and then there's a whole feeling of like, I don't want to leave a mess about how this ends up getting worked out. I wish I would have worked things out before I died.
Okay, this is getting a little too close for comfort.
That's so funny that you bring. It's been a mess.
Yeah,
I can't believe you just said that.
she knows.
He went to the house, huh?
Yeah, this is getting a little too close for comfort.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, when she died, she wasn't prepared. It was so, last minute.
Yeah.
So the house was supposed to stay in the family, and it absolutely. I can't believe you just said that. It was one of those houses that's been in the family for like 40 years, and that's so funny that you say that, because that was like a really big thing in our family.
There is an acknowledgement of this awareness. She seems to be at peace with this, but the house was definitely a situation that she knows.
Wow,
it's
it's
kind of like,
funny you bring that up. That's,
yeah. So
that's
that
crazy.
would be big.
I can't believe you just said that.
I think he's getting more focused. He's getting more and more focused.
Because there's also a situation that I have to bring up where a woman would go into a medical facility, and the feeling is like, I'm going in for something that I would consider to be like lesser or basic or not like
I can't
a big
believe you
deal.
just said
That's
that.
mom. That's mom.
This is coming through weirdly from grandma, but I have to figure out what's being delivered, because there's this acknowledgement of, at one point, I go to a hospital or I go to a doctor, and I do not expect myself to pass away from what I'm told at this
That's
hospital,
her.
at this doctor.
That's her.
I'm not supposed to die of this, and then out of nowhere, I die.
That's mom. That's mom.
That's your mother.
That's mom.
Well, now that you say that,
Right.
and you said, because no one really knows but my family about
Right.
this, but my grandma went to get a biopsy.
Right.
It was just a regular bump
Yeah.
on her back, just got a biopsy, and the doctor accidentally poked the wrong organ in her back, and she bled to death
Right.
for something so generic,
Right.
and she died, like
I'm so
instantly.
sorry. Yeah, because the feeling is like, I know that I'm going in for this one thing, and I feel like this is something that, I'm aware of, but this shouldn't kill me, and then I just die completely sporadically.
Yeah.
She comes through, she knows how abrupt this was.
Right.
She knows how sudden this was. There's a feeling of, I wish that I could have said everything that I wanted to say, but she comes through with closure with her passing. And I want you to know that no matter how that timing went, how abrupt or traumatic that probably was for the family, that on her end, she had peace with her passing.
She did.
She very clearly is aware of how unpredictable this went.
I always want to talk to my grandma because she's like the #1 person that I miss. So whenever I get a chance, I'll be like, hi again, let's talk. It's the only way we can communicate. And then my mom was here and my sister was here. It was just special to me. And it was special for Ice to see what was going on. I want him to be a believer at the end of the day, like I am. And it takes a strong person like Tyler to believe.
I told her, you know, I don't believe in ghosts, but I tell her if you see one, let me know and I'll be the first one out of here. So that's how far I'm like that. But other than that, I'm glad you were able to do it.
Yeah.
I was impressed.
Oh, thank you.
You got quite a few things dead on.
Thank you.
What got you the most? The dog.
The dog, when he said immobility.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Nobody knows about that.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then do you believe your grandmother heard Shoe Freak?
What? What? No! Is that so crazy? I believe that there was a little shift in my husband today. I really felt like there were some things that you can't Google. And he was like on point. So when you're on point, Ice is like, maybe this is kind of like, maybe I do kind of have to give it up a little bit. And I really, really thank you from the bottom of my heart. People like Tyler, it helps your soul, you know, and he helped me out and helped my soul. And I love him. Oh my God. I wish I could like talk to him like forever. He was amazing. I love this guy. Tyler, it helps your soul, you know, and he helped me out and helped my soul.
I've been having a bit of a weird feeling about it today for the past couple days.
Right.
And I can't quite pinpoint why. I don't know if the client's gonna be difficult, maybe the client's a little nervous. That sometimes has something to do with it, but I just am definitely a little nervous.
All you can do is literally just trust yourself.
Yep.
That you always
Tyler, it helps your soul.
And whatever comes through.
He helped me out and helped my
When
soul.
I take Tyler to his readings, I'm always like so intrigued. What celebrity is he going to read next? But yeah, it's my job to keep him really calm so that when we get there, he can be his absolute best.
Going into this reading today, I've just been really feeling
Tyler, it helps your soul.
I'm so used to getting tons of pieces of
He helped me
information
out and helped my soul.
beforehand, and going into this reading, I'm really not. I really better connect, or else the reading won't go well. That kind of, for me, is a very vulnerable position to be in.
Hey, hi, I'm DJ. Nice to meet you.
Kind of uncomfortable.
Welcome to my
I'm
home.
so used to getting
Thank you so
tons
much
of
for
pieces.
having me. My name is DJ Qualls, and Tyler might recognize me from Hustle and Flow, The New Guy, Road Trip, or my new TV show, The Man in High Castle.
This is beautiful.
Thank you. I'm nervous.
Oh, no worries. I'm nervous too.
Okay, good.
When DJ opened the door, I had absolutely no idea who he was, but he was very sweet, and right when I sat down, I knew in that moment everything was going to be okay. Have you ever seen a psychic before?
Yeah, but
Oh, no
just
worries. I'm
like
nervous
just have
too.
my cards read and
Right.
sort of as a laugh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So
I didn't have a connection with it. I didn't really speak to very much.
Sure.
I won't say that I'm a believer, but I will say that I'm really open. Because I'm smart enough to know that I don't know a lot. I think a lot of people need to think that there's something else. I like to think that I don't.
Because I'm very skeptical, and that's kind of the funny irony about the fact that I'm a psychic.
So
I'm an
you
incredibly
didn't have a
skeptical
connection with
psychic of other psychics. Because anybody can tell you your level and loves you.
Interesting.
I always like to kind of describe basically how I do what I do. I don't use cards. I don't have a crystal ball. My head's not going to spin around or anything. It's very straightforward.
I've been in LA so long that if your head spun around, I probably wouldn't think anything of it. I'm getting nervous. A lot of my life is spent with people looking at me on a set, but that's controlled, and I'm used to that. But this is about me in my house, and it's making me feel a little nervous and timid.
For you, any questions about your personal life? You know?
I do have questions, sort of health things. Like I'm always curious about that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. So I will basically go down the list of susceptibilities. You have a very high susceptibility to acid reflux. So much so that you even have inflammation in your lower
Nervous and
esophagus.
timid.
So that's good to keep in mind. You have a susceptibility to a long-term chronic issue. It won't ruin your life or anything along those lines. Not anything that's super bad or super serious, but you do have a susceptibility to a long-term inflammation problem. This is interesting. So in multiple aspects of your body, you'll notice inflammatory related problems.
How could you know this? As a child, I had cancer, and how we diagnosed it is I had inflammation of my lymph nodes all over my body.
Right.
We dealt with it, but I have to constantly keep an eye on it.
I think if anything, it's just the residual effects of what you've already been through.
The health information is so specific. The esophageal stuff, like I have terrible heartburn. And last night I woke up with terrible heartburn. So dead on.
Let me see if I can get any connections on the medium side.
Okay.
So the way that I kind of work with this is that I really value evidentially based information. As I connect and kind of start picking up on info, I'm a bit like a bloodhound. I get a scent and I have to kind of go with it.
Terrible heartburn.
Generally, I'll try to connect to whoever comes through.
It's so weird to think about that there could be people's souls and energy still out there. It's something that I don't think about, obviously, or I would never have sex, because I think that people are like hovering around looking at what I'm doing.
It looks like there's an object here. So do you mind if I hold on to it?
No, be careful because there's an actual razor in it.
Oh, wow. Okay, good to know.
I've had a couple of people who are really close to me pass on. One in particular that I think about all the time. It would be interesting to see if any of that comes through. So dead on.
Okay. So that's physical. Got that aspect. Okay. So I have to initially talk about a man that's coming through who is referencing to his physical health, and he's going to talk about how he passed. Before he passed away, lungs were affected, and he's actually one of the few family members that would have like really strongly had that characteristic. Yeah. Okay. Do you know who that is?
I do.
Okay. There is a reference to a middle. So this is. Just got my symbol for this. I got the symbol for a reference to a name being passed down.
Oh my God.
So was your name passed down from somebody else?
Yes.
Okay, who is that?
It was passed down from my father.
Right.
I think this is my grandfather you're talking about, actually, because it's whose object that you're holding.
Makes sense. Now, the interesting thing about this man is he's very straightforward. He's acknowledging the fact that he's referencing to his things after he died. So I know I'm holding on to this, but he's aware of a book, specifically involved his handwriting, that he is acknowledging that would have been passed down after he died.
It's not a book. It's a pouch.
It's a pouch.
And it's the only piece of his handwriting that we have. He wrote his name on it.
Okay.
My grandfather couldn't read.
Interesting.
And so it was the only time I'd ever seen his signature.
Right, okay. That would make sense.
He left it to me.
Oh, wow.
He had this pouch of things that were his sort of favorite things, like his little treasures, basically.
Right.
And I used to play with him as a child. He kept it in the bib of his overalls. Handwriting that we put out, and I would play with those things.
Oh, that's so fun. Yeah, it's funny, even he's referencing to either a marble or like a rock. Like, what value would a rock have?
Wow. It's so jarring that you are hearing things and then new things are coming up. My brain is exploding.
Well, I don't know what this is.
There was a rock that's hematite that he told me was a piece of the moon.
Exactly, because I'm looking at it.
Yeah, it was not a piece of the moon. I believed it until I was like in high school.
He also had a funny sense of humor. And,
oh my God, he was one of the funniest people I ever met.
He's hilarious.
It's interesting because I just did an interview where they asked me the best advice I'd ever gotten, and it was something funny that my grandfather had told me.
Well, he used to give really interesting advice about dating and relationships.
What it was.
Because
he told me never to put my penis somewhere I wouldn't put my mouth first.
No, I know. I'm aware. I'm blushing at the thought when he's talking about the relationship joke.
Dude, he's out of his mind. I love that man.
Yeah, I didn't expect the other side to talk about penises, but it happens. That's kind of the beauty of it. You never know what's gonna come through. There's a joke about it. It's a terrible joke, but having to chop off a pinky or a toe.
He didn't have a pinky. He lost a pinky.
We call it stubby.
Oh my God, that's
There's
so
a joke
weird.
about the stub.
Well,
the other side.
My grandfather worked in an ice factory, like in the 40s and 50s.
Wow.
And he ground his pinky off in an ice machine. Ooh. And people called him Stubby, but he used it as a teaching tool. He told me because how this happened, somebody had gotten poison ivy on their hands and couldn't come to work.
Right.
And he said, and it was a guy that he didn't like, and he was like, basically, I hope it eats his finger off. And he lost his finger that same day, and he told me that story about his pinky so I would never wish something bad on another person.
Wow. Wow.
That is really specific.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about that in years.
I really feel like DJ's grandfather came through so much with so many specifics, childhood memories, inside jokes, basically help him remember that they had such a beautiful relationship.
This is really emotional. I wasn't expecting this.
He's referencing to his physical health. Now, the defining factor with him is that he's referencing to a susceptibility to serious lung issues. He's putting an abnormal emphasis DJ's grandfather came through the fluid part He's not showing me lung cancer.
It's not.
It's like, but he is referencing to the fluid in the lungs. This is something else.
Wow, this is incredible.
He's saying that he really put on a brave face. And this is really kind of the big thing. When he came across, this is a guy who didn't like to complain.
Mm-hmm. You're definitely right. He never talked about
DJ's grandfather came through and it was kind of like, don't need to run off to the doctor to get bad news.
He would not see the doctor at all.
From his perspective, he was okay with his passing.
Wow, this is incredible.
To him, if he had to just wake up every morning and take a supplement, guy who didn't like a pill, that to him would be limiting his grandfather.
So crazy, because he would not take medication. He had diabetes, but he died. His fluids, his lungs filled with fluids, and that's how he passed.
Wow.
And so I think that maybe there was some pneumonia because he would not was coming. He would not go to the doctor.
Right.
The thing is, medication. I was the person that found him, but he died. And when I think about that, I think about him lying there and drowning in his sleep, and that was something very specific to say to me because I've thought about it so much.
Yeah, the way that he comes across with this is that he's acknowledging that at the time that he actually passed away, that nothing could be done at that point, and that's important to know.
I'm gonna grab a tissue. Sorry,
yeah, please do.
I'm way more emotional than I expected. My parents were very young when I was born, and my grandfather sort of took up the slack. When he died, it was such an absence for me, and I still feel it. Thank God my image isn't like a tough guy or way more emotional than I expected. I'm blowing that to pieces right now. Yeah, that he thought was coming.
He views that after his passing, he snaps his fingers at me in regards to your career. And no doubt, I'm sure it's taken time for you to work and do things.
Immediately way more emotional than I expected.
Like snapping his fingers.
It happened immediately. I auditioned for a one-line part in a movie, got one of the leads. The movie made over $100 million, and 6 months later, I was on The Tonight Show.
Wow.
Like, it was so fast. I did like 12 movies in the first 3 years of my career. After the initial rush of attention and my life changing so much, it was very, very hard for me to deal with. The movie made. My grandfather died when I was only 11, and now I'm a man, and my life has become what it's become. And it is amazing. It continues to be just more than I could have hoped for, but there's something missing because he didn't see it. And I don't get to talk to him about it. I died when I was only 11, and after this adulation and brand new money and all the things that I sort of ever secretly wished for I got, I was alone. It was very, very hard for me to deal with.
Understandably.
When I was only 11,
because when he comes across, I mean, his emphasis really strongly is he knew a very different version of you.
Yeah.
And that with where you're at now, he's so incredibly proud of you. And I need you to know that.
That's really cool. I needed to hear that.
Good.
I needed that validation, I think. I needed to know that he knew that our family had gone a little further than we maybe thought it could. I was only 11, and it means a lot to me.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Papa. You know, just to hear how he feels about where I am now in my life and that he's proud of me, and it's a gift. I think I'm gonna sleep a little better tonight.
Oh, good.
You're giving us messages from people that are the closest to us that we can no longer touch or see.
Yeah, absolutely. And I view it as a privilege.
You know, the idea of loss is so scary. This makes it seem like loss isn't so final. And now I feel very calm. Like, I feel like a big catharsis. You're the best, dude.
Oh, thank you.
I just needed this and didn't know that I needed it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Oh, this has been so
Can I hug you?
Absolutely, you can hug me.
Thanks, man.
Anytime if you ever need anything.
Absolutely. I think it was important for me to have Tyler in my house because when you are in the public eye for long enough, you develop a subconscious veneer. You decide what you're going to project to the public, and everything else is private and yours. And this was good for me because I was able to just be myself and not be afraid to be judged and be honest.
I feel so relieved and so thankful and really so appreciative that he was so vulnerable and open, and he was amazing. I mean, very rarely do I have clients that really show that much of themselves and put that much on display.
I don't know what to say.